goodness. He was so funny.
When I first met Dawes Butler and he did the voice of Huckleberry Hound for me, I burst into tears because there was one of my heroes speaking to me.
Of course, everyone, I'm sure that they've heard the story about Frank Welker falling off his stool. Put his legs inside the stool and started getting very animated and tipped over, could not get his feet out from under him, and just crashed down.
Come on into the control booth, gang. You can listen from there.
The great thing about working with these actors is they could come in and turn my concept around like that, and I'd hear something that would really make me laugh or really touch me in some way.
Scooby, you got one!
I know. So it's a good idea to have a concept, but also a good idea to be willing to give it up.
One day, apparently Joe had Scatman Crothers in to perform some other voice work, and just on a whim threw a test series of lines of Hong Kong for you. And we just flipped. We thought that was the funniest thing, and it was a great way to go.
Oh my gosh, that's great, because it's so, out of left field. And, rather than you might say the Bruce Lee imitation voice or whatever, you had this Scatman sound, which was great.
Working with Gordon was wonderful because he was prepared and they would rehearse the show and come in and we would just go through it. And everyone knew what they were supposed to do.
Okay, Ian, give us a level.
First of all, it's the casting, which takes a while. You have to cast the parts and get approval for each part. And then you get the actors in the studio, and I've got a script or a storyboard in front of me, and we rehearse them first. And they go through whatever they're going to do, and I make any corrections or additions that I think I need to, and the producer might give me some notes. And then we start recording, and we record until we've got it all the way we want to. And back in those days, it was all on audio tape, too, so that took a little bit more than recording digitally.
They were having like one hit series after another.
Hey, and don't forget Scooby.
Scooby-Doo was a big, huge hit.
Welcome, kids. Come on in.
The Scooby-Doo show was based on this hit TV show called The Mod Squad, where they had a bunch of kids driving around solving crimes, and they had this old automobile.
We'll meet you guys in the Mystery Machine.
When we designed the Mystery Machine, Ewo brought me the drawing. It looked like a Volkswagen bus, and he asked me to decorate it. In those days, the flower children were prevalent, so I decided to decorate it with flowers.
Good work, Shaggy.
Just leave the driving to me. Whoa!
Leave the driving to you, huh?
During the first couple of seasons, I designed all of the lead characters, of course, the four kids and Scooby himself. We all had trouble with drawing Scooby. I mean, Scooby was a realistic dog as compared to a stand-up Huckleberry Hound. When you look at a Scooby, you don't realize that maybe 6 layout men worked on that, or 12 animators. It looks like one person did it all. That's because of the model sheet, which was a control for everybody.
Like for one, Scoob, we got the best of the deal.
The Scooby cast is a fun group to work with. They're all very familiar with each other. Frank, who's been Freddy the entire time, is a real nice guy. Just great to work with. And Casey is always very proper and just wants to do his work.
Have been clowning, you two.
Shaggy and Scooby together were quite a team, unusual team, because they were both goofy and funny. You'd think you would have one guy straight and the other guy funny. But in this case, it was 2 comedians all falling over themselves, getting scared and running.
I think like that's our cue to hit the road. Right, Scoob? What?
It's a great show because I guess the kids got used to the idea that the monster was really the landlord or somebody else, and they would pull that hood off at the end. They knew it was going to end up okay.
Like, hi!
I think that Scooby was more popular than Mickey Mouse around the world. He's very popular still.
Oh,
was a real cartoon studio. They were still inking and painting. They still had the cells, the backgrounds. It smelled like a cartoon studio.
Huh? Isn't that delicious?
For me, it was pure fun. It was also putting out a product that I always felt did some good in the world. And it was more laughs than I ever hoped to have in my whole life.
Oh.
I have always enjoyed what I have done. I have had fun all of my life working.
Some of the folks from Hanna Barbera, no matter what they did or have done or doing now, no matter how old they are, I think we're all still kids.
If your product has a good story to it, it bears repeating. In a cartoon, if it's a funny situation, you can play it again and again.
Why, it's Dr. Grimsley.
And again.
Oh no! Like, here we go again!
We go.